amazing.
Oh, it's good to have you here.
It's
man.
an honor.
Oh, we all guys with all who have radio shows sitting in the same room here. Yeah, look out, man.
3 big mouths, right?
This is going to be interesting tonight.
We'll be fighting for the host slot.
There you go.
Look at the phones explode. Oh my God!
Look at
Turn the
that.
computer over
cool.
because this way, man. That is awesome, man. Yeah, chance for you to talk to the guys at 1-800-344-ROCK. Did you ever imagine that this album would take off like it has, you guys?
No, we actually was hoping it was going to sink our career. It was like the last nail in a coffin. That's what we were looking to do.
It's on the chart. It's 18 with an anchor.
We were like hoping, like, okay, that's it. We don't have to do this anymore.
But there's been such great response and everything. It's gotta
Well, our attitude, we got the idea to do it, and there was a lot of questions. Is this a smart thing to do? And I said, well, what are they going to do? Stop playing us on the radio? They're going to not play our video? No, we're not getting attention anyway, other than the reunion thing.
We were never on the radio, never had our videos played anyway, so what's the difference?
Oddly, toward the end of the reunion career, we're at a place where we can have that same attitude a young band has, where you got nothing to lose, so screw it, you know?
What's the old Dylan line? If you ain't got nothing, you got nothing to lose.
So we did it for the right reasons. We thought it would be fun, and as we were doing it, we were having a hell of a time doing it. We're just hoping the audience would receive it in the way it was being, recorded, actually.
When was it actually recorded, Mark?
It was recorded over the summer, spring.
Heat.
It was recorded over actually a long length of time. It wasn't a lot of time in the studio, but we would go back and forth to Europe playing shows, large festivals, and I would record for a couple days at a time and then not record for 2 weeks. And it was a real process. It really was.
And the studio we're in, because we do so many other things, we had to find a studio near Mark's house. And the technology is such these days that you don't need a big, elaborate studio to have a great product. Mark produced the record, did a great job. But they had to turn the AC off in the studio when we were recording vocals. So it's like August, man. And they're going, okay, we're starting the vocals.
Right, we had to turn it off because of the noise that it would make. The rushing air sound.
And I'm just dripping in sweat. So I'm going singing Christmas songs.
You think that's bad? When we did Mendoza's choir, we had 35 people in a room half this size and had to shut the air conditioning off.
Half this size?
Oh, yeah.
This is a great room, but it's not the biggest room in the world.
And his friends aren't the best smelling people in the world.
There you go. Absolutely.
Oh, they rock and roll. Yeah. Why not?
Rock and roll,
did you try to trick yourselves anyway? Hanging up wreaths or, decorations? Or just getting the mindset of going, we're doing a
put
Christmas
a mic
album?
in the middle of the room and said, sing or die.
But this is the way it is with Christmas albums, Christmas movies. They always seem to be made during the summer in anticipation of the end of the year.
Right.
So, the famous story is A Wonderful Life. Jimmy Stewart was running down the street screaming, where was for his wife through the snow. That was July in a heat wave in Syracuse, New York. The wetness was not snow. He was dripping with sweat. He was wearing a winter coat in the summer, So, but it's the movie magic, record magic.
You guys came from the Tonight Show, right?
Yes.
We just did the Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
We're on tonight, so this is it. You got to stay tuned to this show. I'll tell you, Dakota Fanning got braces. The dude from No Smoking tells a story about an elephant in Africa. Not interesting. We're on at the last 10 minutes, so just TiVo it and stay tuned here.
I get the East Coast feed here on the West Coast, so I set my TiVo for that, so I can go home and watch it without having to wait. Sure. So it will be on East and Central at about 25 after, something like that. So we'll kind of remind everybody. We don't want you to leave Rockline or your local station, but
do not.
So what did you guys play?
We did "O Come All Ye Faithful," shoehorned into "We're Not Gonna Take It."
Of course.
Yes.
It's virtually the same song anyway.
Yeah, right. I was going to say, what a stretch that must have been for you.
Right.
It was pretty funny because somebody, well, actually Al Petrelli, I don't know if you know who Al is. He's played with Sabotage and Alice Cooper. He's with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and we were talking years after Twisted Demise and about bands and songs that have melodies from other songs in them, and and we're picking this song and that song, and he goes, "Oh yeah, and we're not going to take it." Is "O Come All Ye Faithful," and I'm driving a van. I go,
silence.
What? He goes, "You didn't know that? Dude, we're not going to take it. Oh, come on." I'm like, holy crap. 19 years singing in the church choir paid off.
First 6 notes. The first 6 notes.
Yeah.
The first 6 notes, and that's
exactly
it.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you
that's enough.
License
that's enough
for that.
That's enough. The guy who wrote that one's long dead.
So a lot of things have been circulating that this was going to be it for Twisted Sister. Put out this Christmas album. That's it. But things are going rather well. Is that still the mindset, or are you guys...
Not so fast, Bob.
Yeah.
Not so fast. Actually, every year we look at it and we say, okay, maybe we'll stop this year, but we keep getting great offers to play and great offers to obviously make CDs. So what's going to happen next year? We'll see what happens. It's just a roll of the dice.
Well,
if it works,
it's really, I mean, it's more than just the offer in this case, because we've been getting great offers for a while. It's bizarre. We're getting airplay. We're getting television attention. We're getting attention from media. We're getting public attention. We're on the charts. And maybe in a bizarre fashion, but it's totally caught us by surprise. So we're kind of sort of taking it one day at a time right now.
I heard this weeks and weeks and weeks ago and said, we're booking them. That's it. You know, bring them on. It's good to have both of you here. Dee Snider, Mark Mendoza, taking your calls toll-free, 1-800-344-ROCK. Let's begin a Twisted Christmas on Rockline with O Come All Ye Faithful. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, a Twisted Christmas. It's Dee Snider and Mark Mendoza from Twisted Sister taking your calls toll-free at 1-800-344-ROCK. Give you another little taste as we head to the first time out. Your calls are coming next. It's Rockline. We're back. I'm Bob Coburn with Mark Mendoza and Dee Snider of Twisted Sister. And we're going to take your calls right now at 1-800-344-ROCK. All the lines are jammed up right now. From Erie, Pennsylvania, Andrea starts us off. Hey there.
Hi. I have a question. With the Twisted Sister Christmas CD, you guys are sending some of your proceeds to Cure Autism Now, and I was wondering why you guys picked that organization.
That's a good question, actually, and it's pretty simple. Mark and I, we have our own personal charities we're involved with. Mark does a lot of work for Carolyn Baldwin's Breast Cancer Foundation. I do work for the March of Dimes. VH1 Classic, who I do specialty broadcasting for, and we're very supportive of our record from day one. They champion Cure Autism Now. The president of VH1 Classic, Eric Sherman, has a son who is autistic, and I have a very good relation with them. And they said, "Look, you know, we want to get behind this record. How would you feel about giving part of the proceeds to this cause?" And it is a great cause. It is an important cause, and we thought the spirit of the holidays. It just sort of fit. I mean, this isn't, the average record coming out another time of the year. It is the Christmas holidays and the spirit of giving. And in that spirit, we are giving part of the proceeds to this great charity.
That's pretty much perfect, I would say.
Oh,
and bless
thanks.
you for doing that.
Thanks.
It's hard not to know someone directly who has a child with autism, or at least know of someone who does. The rate is out of control. I heard the other day, I think it's 1 out of 166 children born in the U.S.
164, I believe.
Is it 164?
Yes.
I knew it was somewhere right in there, is born with autism.
Sure.
It's a plague. It's an epidemic in this millennium in this country.
Yeah, and I believe it's even on the rise, which is and really is an important cause and sometimes overlooked. So it was a good opportunity to do something positive.
Good for you guys, and a great way to start this show. A twisted Christmas, but a good-hearted Christmas, too. We'll head to a different part of Pennsylvania to talk with Tim. He's in Monroeville. Welcome to Rockline.
Hi, BC.
Hey there.
Hi, Dee.
Hey, man.
Merry Christmas to you and Mark.
Thank you.
Very twisted Christmas, actually.
Hey, you know what? We had and we'll get to your questions in a second. We did a show in Toronto, and the reviewer who saw our live show, he said, both Jesus and Satan would be proud.
That's perfect.
So, everything in one statement.
Yeah.
That's good.
So what's your question, man?
I want to ask you both, what do you guys have a particular, ritual that you like to do on Christmas Day itself? And I'd like to know, Dee, you could answer, and Mark, what was your favorite and least favorite gifts that you've ever gotten on Christmas?
Oh, it's a two-parter.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
Okay,
first. Go ahead.
ritual-wise, I mean, I'm married. Been with the same woman 30 years now, and I got 4 kids, and we're just really into the traditional Christmas morning. You know, my thing is because I like to see the looks on the kids' faces, so I try to be awake for it, which means first going to their rooms and shutting their alarm clocks off because they're smart enough to turn them the night before.
Yes.
Getting up early so I get some damn coffee in me and get my video camera ready and put on the music. You know, maybe it's Bing because it's early in the morning. Get the fireplace going and just being there when they wake up. Because now they're getting older, but still my youngest is 10 and she's still hanging on to, you know, she's hanging on to the whole thing. So that's my personal ritual. As far as worst and best gifts, Mark, you probably got a good best gift.
Well, I was thinking about it right here, and I don't know how to put it. The worst gift was not getting anything, which happened a lot. Like you say on stage, right? You hold up on stage not getting anything. And the best gift, well, I don't know if I can say this on radio.
Get that 7-second delay.
Yeah, exactly. Put your hand on the button.
Right,
no, I actually, no. The best gift I think I got was a motorcycle.
Well, that's hard to beat.
Yeah, it was hard.
Why couldn't you say that?
Yeah, no. There's other things in here. I'm going to leave that alone.
I think he's talking about sex toys.
I want to stay friendly with you, all right? I want to be on the show again, all right, guys?
Well, the motorcycle certainly cleaned things up.
I got a Harley for Christmas one time.
Yeah, that's it. That's the ticket.
Yes,
I love the stock ticker for Harley.
Yeah, exactly. Hog.
You got to buy a couple of shares in Hog, man.
There you go.
That's it.
Well, ritual got mentioned, and I went right to the Satan thing, and then you come in with a great wholesome story about waking up with the kids, and that moment, that vicarious moment as a parent when you see that in the face of your kids and everything, it's priceless.
Yeah,
it's worth all the hassle and everything.
Absolutely, because I'm actually writing a screenplay right now. I write screenplays, and I've made a movie, and I've sold some things that have not been produced. But and I'm writing a Christmas comedy right now based on my holiday journals for my family. And one of the observations I make, because the lead character is a talk show. It's a radio talk show host, and he makes the observation that at some point people stop making Christmas for you, and you're sort of left to your own device to make the holiday great for yourselves. That's growing up, and there's that void there where nobody explains that to you, and you kind of feel lost because you're not a kid anymore, but you're so. And when you finally start having your kids. And, it sounds kind of old and stuff, but it's true. You start living it again through their faces and their reactions, and you go, oh, there it is. There's the spirit of Christmas I've been missing for the last 10 years, so.
Okay, Mark, we're actually off the air now. What was the other game? That didn't work, did it? You guys want to rock?
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to rock. I want to rock. Twisted Sister. We're joined by Mark and Dee, taking your calls at 1-800-344-ROCK. I'm BC Bob Coburn, and Rockline is brought to you by Fox. Fox Sunday on an all-new Family Guy. Meg's prom date is a real dog. Literally. See what happens when her escort for the big night is her four-legged friend Brian. A new Family Guy at 9, 8 Central. That is Fox Sunday. End of the timeout with a little taste of Deck the Halls, Twisted Sister style. Going under the blade tonight. We got Twisted Sister, and it's Dee and Mark taking your calls at 1-800-344-ROCK. Log on at rocklineradio.com. You can see who's coming up on the show. We go into 3 super encore shows for you for the holidays. Jimmy Page, Robert Plant, and Paul McCartney. These are great shows, all 3 of them, and certainly worth listening to one more time. So those are your holiday treats. Then we're back with Quiet Riot performing live here in the Rockline studio, about a half-hour full band electric. Rudy Sarzo is going to be on. He's got a new book out. He was trapped tragically on the bus when Randy Rhoads was killed.
We saw Rudy last
there.
night,
Yeah.
actually. Yes, he was.
Yeah,
Well, he's going to be coming up, and then John Mellencamp will be on at the end of January with his brand new album. So we have good stuff coming up for you, as always. RocklineRadio.com, and we have a couple of good contests there, too. One, a trip to New York with Family Guy, and the other, a trip to Orlando for Hard Rock Treasures with Don Bernstein. Time now for the encore question with David Crosby. It's brought to you by Wrangler Jeans Company. New fits, new comfort, new styles, new generation of Wrangler.
So this is for Twisted Sister, right? So, Twisted Sister, I just want to know, are you guys still doing that goat bondage thing? I mean, I heard about it, and I'm just curious.
Crosby.
Yeah, well, if you're still doing the sperm donating thing, David, we're doing the goat bond.
Yes.
You got it right, Dave. That's for sure.
Now, you know what? When I do my morning, I was doing morning radio, and I have guests on. It was just a regular talk show, a talk radio show. And the first question I would ask them unannounced was, how did Twisted Sister affect your life? But you get people on like David Crosby or Robbie Krieger, and they just wouldn't know what to say. I mean, they start stammering because we never who, what, where, So.
Well, Cros has a book out called Since Then. It's his second one. He did one, and then all his stuff happened to him, the sperm donations and finding a son who was 35 years old that he had no contact with, and he almost died. He had a child with his wife, Jan. So he had this book out called Since Then that's just come out, and the band referred to him as the Sperminator. It's great.
That works for him.
You got to love it.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to Brandon now, who's in Dayton, Ohio. We welcome him to Rockline. Hey, Brandon.
Yeah. I was wondering, after all these years of playing, if you guys still enjoy getting up on stage with the makeup and the outfits and rocking out for everybody, man.
Hey, Brandon, good question. When we do the show, I go full on old school hair, makeup, costumes. Takes me 2 hours to get ready. Mark's decided to streamline his look a little bit and just watch me.
I watch him do all
and
the work.
laugh. And watch me and laugh. You know what? I just my feeling was that it's not a matter of whether or not I enjoy doing it, although I totally liked the 80s and liked what we did. But I think that's what people want me to be doing. They don't want to see me up there with baggies and a wallet chain. They want to see Dee Snider, the crazy hair farmer that they remember from the 80s. So we do it. And just ask your own staff. They probably appreciate
We're an
that.
oldies band.
Yeah.
They want what they remembered back in the 80s, and that's basically what we give them. And we love what we do. I got to say, I mean, we have the comedy between us is unbelievable. It really is. Even on stage, it's insane.
Well, I was told last night that there was a story that you guys were telling about Mark bringing a gun to rehearsal.
First rehearsal.
All right. Look, he tells the story on stage. It really happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it was true. It's absolutely
First
true.
rehearsal, he goes walking in, and if anybody saw behind the music, we weren't actually getting along well. And he walks in silently, he's a big guy, walks in, pulls a gun out, and he puts it on top of his amplifier.
No two ways about it.
Just hedging your bet in case.
Just in case there are problems.
In case, yeah. If there's a problem, I'm packing heat, okay? That's funny. D, I read something about you and JJ saying that you were tiring of the makeup and all of that at some point. Is that still the case? I mean, was there any validity to that to begin with?
That's probably JJ talking. I don't even think about it. It's just sort of, putting the makeup on is sort of the same thing as playing We're Not Going to Take It every night. It's part of what Twisted Sister is to the audience, and it's the look on the audience's face. They're wondering, will he be wearing it? Will he not be wearing it? And when I come out with the shoulder pads and the boots and the whole thing, their faces light up, man. They're just like, this is what they want to see. The old fans, they want to see it one more time. And there's young people out there who are into the whole retro thing. They've heard about it, and they want to see what it was like. So we try to give a pretty good facsimile, and you can't do that without getting in the whole regalia. So I don't want to think about it.
And on another line here, Mark, you see the drum room right behind you there?
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a rifle in there. I just want you to know that, okay?
You still have to make it there to get it, though.
Which may be rather iffy as I look at you right now.
I would bet you wouldn't make it that far.
Yeah, my guess is that I'm not even going to try to make it.
Exactly.
We'll just get along really well tonight.
Don't bother running. You'll only die tired, okay?
If you just see elbows and you know what, off in the distance, you got it, all right?
That's right.
We're going to talk to Billy, who's in Peabody, Massachusetts. Billy, you're on Rockline with Dee and Mark from Twisted Sister.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you, all you guys.
Thank you.
Same to you.
Yes, sir.
I just got one question to ask you. What made you name a song SMF, and what does it mean? Try to make it clean if you can.
Who are you, Al Gore?
Yeah, really.
He asked me that. He asked me that question in Washington, and I told him right there in front of the Senate.
If we had to answer that question, you wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
Right? That's
well,
basically...
I will explain. I can explain it, though. I can explain. SMF is what we call our fans, and it stands for Sick Mother Expletive deleted, okay, for the F-bomb there. And it really started because we were these guys who dressed weird and looked weird, and we spent our lives, people looking at us, the Johnny Bravos of the world, the preppies in the straights, looking at us going, man, will you look at that sick mother bleeper, you know, right there. And at some point I said, you know what, I guess I'm an SMF, that means you're not. And you know what, if being an SMF means not being like you, then I'm proud to be an SMF. And I started calling the fans SMFs, and they got into it too. Yeah, we are SMFs because we're not the norm. We're not the average person. And then so I had to write a song for them in honor of them, and that's how SMF came about.
That goes all the way back to high school, middle school, and elementary school. The dividing line between,
everything.
Us and them.
Everything.
You know, us and them.
That's right, yeah. Twisted Christmas, which is the reason you guys are here. A great Christmas album, a lot of fun. Things like Silver Bells, which we're about to play. You guys start with AC/DC, and you do that with a lot of songs on here, don't you?
Yeah.
It's Dee actually had an idea many years ago to get all the bands, our peers like Judas Priest, AC/DC, to do a song, one song on a huge compilation album, and it never actually came to be. But when it came time, when JJ came up with the idea of us doing a Christmas album, it's kind of like paying homage to the bands that we love, and we ripped ourselves off. And, you know, there's a couple of TS songs in there also, so that's really what it came about from. We just figured out what feel would be great for this song, and what band do we want it to sound like.
You know, when I had the compilation idea, I sort of said, well, I was going to pitch the bands on it and say, well, AC/DC, you do Silver Bells like this kind of way, and Maiden, you do White Christmas like this. So when I came here and I had these ideas planted in my head, I said, well, I was thinking, you know, I heard AC/DC doing this and Maiden doing it, and then Mark says, well, then how would Priest do I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus? How would Thin Lizzy do Deck the Halls? And it just started becoming homages to each of these bands and to ourselves and to the whole 80s metal sound, you know.
So we get Silver Bells and we get a little Problem Child, too, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it right now. Twisted Sister.
Children laughing, people passing.
From A Twisted Christmas, Twisted Sisters, Silver Bells, Mark the Animal Mendoza tearing up those 4 strings at the end.
Actually, I got a little tidbit here for everybody, you and everybody listening. That's actually that song. The ending of the song is a mistake. The song was supposed to fade out in the studio. Well, of course, when you actually record it, you get the band to play it long enough to do a quick fade. And when it came up time for me to do the bass, I just sat there, and since I'm the producer, I pressed the buttons myself and just went nuts on it. And when everybody heard it, they said, "You can't cut that out." It's like, but it's a mistake. I was just playing anything.
Just noodling around.
Yeah, it was just blah, 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 and it's so we had to keep it because all the guys said, "No, you got to leave it like that."
Well, it's a great extended jam at the end.
Exactly.
And the bass players rarely get to shine. I mean, bass players, great bass players, know their primary job is utilitarian. They're there to hold down
Especially
the fort.
in Twisted. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and Mark's always appreciated that, and that's one thing. If I had to say, something that bothers me about the perception of Twisted is people don't realize the great musicians that are in this band, because we have chosen a very simplistic, straight-ahead form of rock. And people think, well, that's because the only thing you're capable of doing, and that's not the case at all. I was a classically trained countertenor. I sing like this because I love it. Mark is a wailing bass player, but he wanted to do pounding, straight-ahead stuff. A.J. Perro was a child prodigy. He toured with a swing band through Europe at 12 years old, his big band, and he's sitting there just pounding the drums because this is what we love.
This is the job that needs to get done. That's why we do it.
You can hear the musicianship on this album too. As you guys shift from one song to another effortlessly. I mean, it's really, really seamless.
Thanks.
I insist when I produce to let the guys shine when they're supposed to do it.
And of course, one of the operative phrases that you uttered there, Mark, since I'm the producer.
Yes, exactly. And you recognize that.
Absolutely.
All right? That's right.
Boss man. We're talking
Just
boss man.
remember, you'll never make it to that room.
Never make it to the drum room. We'll take a call from New York City as we welcome Jimmy to Rockline. Hey.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Jimmy, what's going on,
What's up, Jim?
Not much. My question is, I heard about a box set, and I was wondering if any unreleased stuff is going to be on it.
Mark, why don't you, Mr. Producer Man, why don't you handle that question?
A box set is possible, and we're talking about it. We have tons of unreleased material that dates back even myself being in the band. What we're going to put in it and what we're going to do with it, I have no idea at this point.
Do you think Tupac has a lot of unreleased stuff?
Right,
Wait till you see what we have.
We also have an incredible amount of video footage, including way back before I was in the band also, that we're trying to work on and put together somehow and release some sort of box set of a DVD and audio, or CDs also, and they have all this stuff. So I would see that at some point, yes, there'll be some sort of box set of audio and video to be released, yes.
I love substantiating rumors and making them fact.
There you go.
There you go.
I got a big stack of CDs you guys have done over the years right in front of me here.
There you go.
Pretty good stack there. You got a box set in the works. That's good to hear. I'm going to give you guys a shot at B12. Not that you need it, but I know this caller, and he always just lights it up for us. Corey, how you been?
BC!
Hey, Corey, what's up, man?
Too much caffeine, Corey.
To the crew down there, and Bob Coburn, another successful year with Rockline.
Thank you.
Got 2 questions for you. First, Marco, the talk with guns. I guess that hanging out with Ted Nugent rubbed off on you, and it is terrible Ted's birthday tonight.
Corey, let me stop you right here, okay?
Stop.
Let me stop you right here,
Yeah,
okay?
Corey,
my name is not Marco Mendoza, okay? It's Mark Mendoza. And not saying anything bad about Marco because I actually know him quite well. I had the name first, okay? I never played with Ted Nugent. I don't know Ted Nugent. I happen to like him a lot, okay? So you did not do your homework. So we might just hang up on you, okay? Do you want to try the call again from the beginning?
Hey, Corey, let me tell you this. Somebody in the record label actually sent him an email to Marco Mendoza. I don't think that guy's still working for the company.
Well, Corey's not working for anybody, but you got something else you can bring to the table here, Corey?
Well, let's just start over. BC!
Hey, Corey!
All right, Corey. Yeah, there we go.
That's excellent.
Well, my question is for the boys down there would be 2 questions. First question was, how do you feel about the song We're Not Gonna Take It as now a political anthem, considering with all the scrutiny you went through with the PMRC back in the day? And the second question for you was, have you ever thought about being immortalized into a rock action figure such as the old boys and Kiss and Alice Cooper? And speaking of Kiss, did you ever talk with Gene about maybe some makeup tips.
Yeah. Okay. Those 3 questions, Corey. Okay, I'll try to.
Redeeming himself.
Then quickly on the Gene thing, I know Gene. Mark's when he was in a Dictator, toured with Kiss, and my last conversation with Gene, I called him at his house. Gene gave me his phone number, and Gene picks up, and I go, Gene, D. Snyder, and he goes, "Where'd you get this number?" So, and there's not many tips
so
coming.
Much for that.
So
one.
much for Gene.
So much for that.
Action figure. There's somebody working on that right now. That's working on a Twisted Sister thing. As far as I'm really glad you brought up this thing about the political anthem, because it is anything but. The song is everybody's song, and while you can hear political groups on the left and right and center using it, you can't go to a sporting event and not hear it. You could go watch a commercial right now for Charlotte's Web, and you'll see a children's animation using "We're Not Going to Take It," and I believe there's a commercial for women's premenopausal medication that's using it right now. So if there was ever an every man and every woman song, it's "We're Not Going to Take It." So let it be clear, we don't endorse any political side. We've created an anthem, hopefully for the ages, that's for anybody is against something.
You realize,
even if it's vaginal dryness.
We're all against that.
Of course we are. Yeah.
Yes.
You realize the grand irony here to go from the PMRC and have people protesting at your concerts to being used as a political song for every faction that there is.
That stuff that happened 20 years ago.
But the point is,
I know,
the irony is,
evolved.
it was a filthy 15, and the same women who are being targeted with the commercial for premenopausal medication, with "We're Not Going to Take It," are the ones who are protesting
our shows,
and picketing our shows in the 80s.
Right.
So yeah, it is the grand irony.
Choose it. There ain't no way we'll lose it.
You're not going to take it. Twisted Sister. We're joined by Dee and Mark this evening, taking your calls toll-free at 1-800-344-ROCK. That's 1-800-344-7625. And, of course, Rockline is brought to you by Fox. Fox Sunday on an all-new Family Guy. Meg's prom date is a real dog, literally. See what happens when her escort for the big night is her four-legged friend Brian. A new Family Guy, 9, 8 Central. That's Fox Sunday. We'll play a little bit of I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus from A Twisted Christmas by Twisted Sister. You have alternate lyrics for this song, I understand.
Yeah, they're rolling around somewhere.
Yeah.
Or you can hear them live.
A little on the raunchy side, so we won't be mentioning any of those lyrics right now.
But more than a little on the raunchy
Yeah,
side.
more than a little on
Yes,
the.
we just can't. Again, that's something else we just can't say on the radio.
You can't say on the radio.
Just- you
Yeah,
cannot.
you'd have to kill me if you did.
Yeah, I
Mommy
wouldn't want
ain't
to do that.
kissing Santa Claus.
And I'm not making it to the drum room. We're back
right.
with Twisted Sister and your calls right after this. Got a ride to live, huh?
Absolutely.
Twisted Sister joins us tonight. We got Dee, we got Mark, we got your phone calls at 1-800-344-ROCK. This came up earlier this evening, and I want to mention this again, that part of the proceeds from the album and ticket sales, the band on tour right now, for Cure Autism Now, and I want to applaud you guys for doing that again. That's a great thing.
Thank you.
Thank
I want
you.
to mention that. You can log on to rocklineradio.com. We got cool stuff there. We have a couple of contests, fly away to New York City and another one to Orlando, Florida. You can enter there. You can email us. You can do whatever you want. rocklineradio.com. Oshkosh, Wisconsin. This is Paul. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you very much. First of all, Merry Christmas to Bob, Dee, and Mark.
Thanks, Paul.
All right, thanks.
Thanks. Just want to shout out a quick thanks to you guys, how you influenced my four boys and their band with your music. And that brings me to my question to Dee and Mark. How have you guys, over your childhood with music and through the 80s, made it through your careers clean and sober?
Oh man.
That's a good question, actually.
That's a really good
How? I try not to be really judgmental on other people's choice. It's a personal choice. I got drunk once when I was 14, laid on the ground, threw up on myself, and swore if God ever let me stand again, that was off demon alcohol. So I had a bad experience there. But for the most part, it's just I've been fortunate enough to feel confident enough, and I think this is important to instill in young people, to give them a sense of self, that they don't feel a need to turn to drugs or alcohol, to allow themselves to express themselves. I'm being a little vague there because it's getting late in the night, but what I mean is we live in a society where people feel that they've got to be high in order to act out. If you're going to wear a crazy costume like I do, or Mark dress up, if you're going to run around on stage, if you're going to be nuts, if you're going to dance in public, you got to have a couple of drinks in you. And it's almost like an insurance policy in case you make a fool out of yourself. And fortunately for myself, I've never really felt that way. I felt real comfortable making a fool out of myself. Totally straight.
At least we get paid to do it.
What about you, Mark?
I've never done a drug in my life. And I've never drank. I did get drunk once. It was a very ugly night. A lot of people got hurt, including myself. No, but it's as Dee was saying, it's for us, I've never wanted to be out of control. And most people say, you don't need any help being like this. It comes naturally. So you don't need anything that amplifies these things already.
They don't want to see us drunk or stoned.
That's what Zappa used to say. Can you imagine me on drugs?
Too many people use it as a crutch to mask reality, and that's not something I need.
The idea that you can be as insane as we can be on stage and yet be totally in control of yourself, to stop on a dime and deal with the situation if something arises. And in the heat of a concert, things have arisen. More than one time.
Many times.
You guys are on the Tonight Show right now on the East Coast and in the Central Time Zone.
There you go.
And you're doing Rockline.
Again, the grand irony. I mean, I want to show you. Listen to this. Here's a mark on my body where the producers of the Tonight Show in the 80s used to stick me. They used to stick me with a 10-foot pole because
they didn't want us to look at it. And he's really standing up to look.
I want to see.
I want to see. You want to see this scar over here?
It's a metaphor, Coburn.
Yeah, nobody would talk. I was actually faking him out, though. I was lifting up my shirt. But nobody, they wouldn't touch us in the 80s. And now we're on, like, America's show, The Tonight Show, singing "Oh, Come All Ye Faithful."
Unbelievable. We're on national TV and radio simultaneously.
Yeah,
you get some press
to be
for
in two
goodness
places
sake.
at the same time. There you go.
You ready for another one here? I think we took care of everything with Paul there.
Absolutely.
Have Kevin in Martinsburg, West Virginia. You're on Rockline with Dee and Mark from Twisted Sister.
Hey, a few minutes ago, you guys mentioned having the unreleased video, and I was wondering if that might include the show that's in the video for the price. It doesn't look like the same one from '84, the San Bernardino show.
Oh, it's good observation there. Yeah. Very good observation. What he's saying is the Price video was shot at a concert in Rochester.
No, Binghamton,
New York.
Binghamton, yeah.
But it was not a full-blown concert shooting. It was just the one song. They filmed us doing that song, and they filmed the audience, and that was one of those deals. So there's no other additional music or anything attached to that.
And, of course, the Price appears in a mutated form, shall we call it?
Yeah, it is mutated. Yeah. Well, it's
very mutated.
Yeah, and referring to "I'll Be Home for Christmas," the power ballad on there, definitely the Price influence for sure. The interesting thing about that song is Lita Ford is on there, singing and playing some guitar, and she has not been seen or heard from for quite some time. And for you Lita fans out there, be happy for her because she's living happily ever after with her husband, Jim Gillette, and her 2 kids in the islands in the Caribbean in a beautiful house. I vacationed with her a couple of times. She has a great life. So she's not in a hurry to get back to playing rock and roll.
You know what? That's great to hear.
Yeah, she's doing good. But, I mean, you go to the house, there's a guitar ever present, and she's at a studio. Her Jim was a singer for a band called Nitro that didn't really make a lot of noise, but some people may have heard of them. So they goof around for their own pleasure, but they don't feel any need to get back out on the road or do anything. And she's very committed to raising her 2 sons, and they're about 10 and 6, respectively.
I'll Be Home for Christmas is one thing. I'll Be Home for Christmas in the Caribbean is a whole different thing, isn't it, you guys?
She got a good life.
Joined by Dee Snider and Mark Mendoza. And your calls at 1-800-344-ROCK. The CD is Twisted Christmas. It's in stores now, and we'll talk about that more and have more of your calls coming up in just a second on Rockline. Rockline is brought to you by Fox. Fox Sunday, it's an all-new Family Guy. Meg's prom date is a real dog. Literally, it's really a dog. See what happens when the escort for the big night is her 4-legged friend Brian, a new Family Guy. That's 9, 8 Central, and that is Fox Sunday. Why don't we just let it snow for a second? Yes, sir. Twisted Sister joining us tonight on Rockline. Bob Coburn with Dee and Mark, and your calls to 1-800-344-ROCK from Columbus. David checks in. You're on Rockline, David.
Hey, guys. How you doing? My question for y'all was, what was it like playing for the troops overseas?
Mark, take it away.
The USO. One of the highlights of my life, my father was a hardcore World War II veteran. My mom was in the Red Cross in World War II. My mom was part of the USO, or what it was back then. And the thought of going over to help out our troops, and I'm not saying pro or against the war, just support the military, it was a dream come true for me. And to see that the expression on their faces, whether it was, no matter what music they were into, the fact that we were there entertaining them, they treated us like royalty. And it was one of the proudest moments in my career history for me and the band. Everybody was overwhelmed by it. what it was like in Korea playing for our troops. Yes.
Yeah, very cool to be able to do something like that. And again, the ultimate irony here's a band that was being persecuted by the Washington Wives, and now we're guests of the U.S. government playing for the troops and having generals and majors coming and giving us plaques and accolades. But then again, I mean, and put it in perspective, they're appreciative of anybody who comes over and shows some support. So if you got an accordion, you come over there and go out of your way to play for nothing, which is what you do. The troops are so thankful, and it's very rewarding to do that.
Well, it's a two-way street. They're appreciating you, and you're appreciating them.
We're right now we're all home and cushy, and we're going to spend Christmas at home. Just think about what they're going through. I mean, I've never been in the military. I have plenty of friends and family that have, but just think about where they are, and they can't be home. And we wake up in our beds every day, or our hotel playing rock and roll, and you have a great radio show here for a long time, but just think about them and the places they are in the world, and we just try to make it better for them, and it was a great feeling. It really was.
That song you heard, I'll Be Home for Christmas, was originally inspired by someone who had spent time in the military and the idea of being overseas and missing the holidays and missing your family. So, I mean, again, and that was one of the very first things we did. The first thing we did, reunited for the 9/11 for a 9/11 event,
New York Steel event. Yes.
The next thing we did was the shows for the USO. Our reunion was purely motivated for all the right reasons. We wanted to fix the relationships that had been broken in the 80s, and also we didn't do it for the money. We did it, like I said, for all the right reasons.
And this really is what got the band back and going again.
Yeah,
after
it was those things. It was those. Don't get me wrong, the money's awesome, but it wasn't primarily our motivation for
New York
reuniting.
Steel. We had no plans of playing beyond New York Steel. That was it. It was
That's the 9/11 show.
That's the 9/11 show when 9/11 happened. We had no plans of going anywhere past that, and just the show was that. It was like, hey, nice seeing you guys. Take care. Have a nice life.
And where for the soldiers did you play? It was Korea?
Korea, yeah. We were originally supposed to go to Iraq, but the war broke out in 2003. So they wouldn't let us go there. It was too hot at the time, so they asked us to go to Korea, which is, in our U.S. military terms, a forgotten place. Everybody is used to, like, war zones. Well, it's a hotbed, too.
Well, we all have our feelings and beliefs about what's going on, but the big difference between this and, say, Vietnam is I think everybody's pro-troop this time around.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God for that.
You have to be.
And that was the message we brought over there, was because, when you're reading in the papers, you're reading about dissension and dissatisfaction with the way things are going. We just kept saying, this is no reflection on the U.S.'s support for you. The people support you people, men and women who are in harm's way. Never feel that we aren't behind you. We are questioning why we're here, but it's not your efforts, and it was good to be able to tell them that firsthand.
And all volunteer Army, and an amazing stat I ran across the other day, about 70% middle-class Caucasian.
Is that right?
Comprises this volunteer Army that we have in the United States today.
Again,
everybody's there. Don't get me wrong. It's just that happens to be the demographic.
Key phrase is volunteer.
Volunteer.
Yeah, that's the key phrase right there. They're doing it for their belief in our way of life.
Yeah, you guys volunteered too. We're going to talk to Brian as we head to Pensacola. Brian, you're on Rockline.
Hey, how are you? And thank you for having me on. I was told to ask, how'd you get Eddie Kramer to do the original singles?
Nobody tells anybody to ask anything.
That's interesting. I was told to ask.
Why, you don't particularly want to know the answer?
It's a very little-known thing, Eddie Kramer. Actually, our fans have been our greatest asset, always. It's always been our fans who got us our breaks. Always got us when record industry just did not pay attention to Twisted Sister in the States, it was a fan who brought Ross Halfin, a top UK photographer, to one of our shows at a bar in New Jersey. He took some photos, sent them back to the UK. They started publishing them in Kerrang! Magazine, and then it all rolled from there. The Eddie Kramer situation was some fans brought legendary producer and engineer Eddie Kramer, who worked with Jimi Hendrix, Kiss, Peter Frampton, Led Zeppelin, Woodstock. He was the engineer there, and to one of our shows in a club in Westchester, New York. And he saw the band and then wanted to work with us. So our fans have always just been our greatest asset.
Going down to Sin City, Twisted Sister, our guest tonight. We got time for another one here. To the Bay Area, we head for Pleasanton, California, and it's Jason. Hey, Jason.
Hey. I was just wondering, how difficult is the process of transcribing Christmas songs into metal?
That's a real good question, Jason. You had to beat Eddie Ojeda pretty good, didn't you, Mark?
Yeah, actually, I got to give kudos to Eddie Ojeda, our guitar player, Eddie. He actually transposed the songs to chord charts, to chord sheets, and when I saw the exact chords, we spent weeks doing it. When I saw all the augmented ninths and diminished fifths and everything, I straightened it all out, and everything went to major chords, and no song could have more than 5. Okay? And it had to be heavy metal, and I said, forget all the fancy stuff. It's just going to be pounded to death.
The tracks have to stand on their own as rock tracks. If you stripped away the vocal, you'd have to just say, oh, this is a rock track, you know. So
that's exactly
and
how
I think
it
that's why
works.
it works.
We got to take a time out. We're coming back. Oh, come back with us, all ye faithful. Nothing like going full circle there, huh, guys?
Yeah.
It's back where we started musically tonight. A couple of thank yous to everybody for listening and calling in, as always, to our affiliate stations. Can't do it without you. Phil Carson, Kurt Stefik, Carice Yatter. Am I pronouncing her last name?
Yes, that works for us.
Lovely. Thanks for coming down
Where's
tonight.
the first part? Yeah.
The staff at Razor and Tie Records, VH1 Classic for their support. And again, every person who's been listening tonight hopefully has heard us say that part of the proceeds go to Cure Autism Now. And if you're just tuning in or whatever, I want to let you know that A Twisted Christmas and some of the proceeds from the ticket sales the guys are on tour with right now go to that organization. And again, bless you guys for doing that. Fantastic. Good to see you both. Good to have you both here.
Thanks for inviting us.
Never with you, Mark. Good to have you here. Dee and I have done this before.
Yeah,
it's good to have you back.
Thanks.
And let's not wait so long next time.
Absolutely.
You guys played in L.A. last night, first time in 21 years.
That's right.
21 years.
Don't think about pulling the plug now, okay?
We'll try not to.
All right, we got to run. I'm BC, and I'll be